Exodus chapter 19, Preparing for the Covenant. Exactly 3 months to the day after the Israelites had left Egypt, they arrived at the wilderness of Sinai. They arrived there coming from Rephidim and camped in the wilderness of Sinai facing the mountain. Moses went up to God, and the Lord called to him from the mountain, saying, "This is what you are to say to the house of Jacob and to explain to the Israelites. You have seen what I did to the Egyptians and how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now if you listen to me and keep my covenant, you shall be my very own possession among all the peoples. For all the earth is mine, but you will be for me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words you are to say to the people of Israel." So Moses went and summoned all the elders of the people and related to them all the words that the Lord had commanded him to say. All the people responded with one voice, "All that the Lord has said, we will do." Moses then brought back to the Lord the people's response. The Lord spoke to Moses, "I am going to come to you in a dense cloud, so that the people may hear me speaking with you and trust you always." Then Moses related to the Lord what the people had said. Again the Lord spoke to Moses, "Go to the people and have them sanctified today and tomorrow. Let them wash their garments and be ready for the 3rd day. For on the 3rd day the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. You will fix a limit for the people all around the mountain, saying, 'Take care not to go up to the mountain or touch its base. Whoever touches the mountain will be put to death. He shall surely be stoned or shot with arrows. No hand shall touch him. Be it man or beast, he shall not live. Only when the ram's horn sounds may they go up to the mountain.'" Moses came down from the mountain to the people and sanctified them, and they washed their garments. He then said to the people, "Be ready for the 3rd day and abstain from sexual relations." Early in the morning of the 3rd day there was thunder and lightning and a dense cloud over the mountain. And a very loud trumpet blast was heard. All the people in the camp trembled. Moses then made the people leave the camp to meet God and stand at the foot of the mountain. Mount Sinai was completely covered with smoke because the Lord had come down upon it in fire. And the smoke rose as from a furnace. The whole mountain shook violently while the blast of the trumpet became louder and louder. Moses spoke and God replied in thunder. When the Lord had come down on the summit of Mount Sinai, God called Moses, who went to the summit. Then the Lord said to him, "Go down and give this warning to the people, lest they rush to see the Lord, and many of them perish. Even the priests who come near the Lord must purify themselves, lest the Lord break out against them." Moses answered the Lord, "The people cannot ascend Mount Sinai because you yourself ordered us to put limits around the mountain and set it apart as holy." The Lord replied, "Go down and bring up Aaron with you, but do not let the priest and the people break through to come up to the Lord, or he will break out against them." So Moses went down to the people and told them this. Exodus chapter 20, the 10 Commandments. God spoke all these words. He said, "I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall not have other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything in heaven above, or on the earth beneath, or in the waters under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing the children for the sin of the fathers to the 3rd and 4th generation of those who hate me, But I show steadfast love until the 1,000th generation for those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not leave unpunished anyone who takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. For 6 days you will labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath for the Lord your God. Do not work that day, neither you nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your servants, men or women, nor your animals, nor the resident alien who is staying with you. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth and the sea, and all that is in them, but on the seventh day he rested. That is why the Lord has blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy. Honor your father and your mother, that you may have a long life in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not kill, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not give false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house, you shall not covet your neighbor's wife or his servants, man or woman, or his ox, or his donkey, or anything that is his. In the meantime all the people witnessed the thunder and lightning, and heard the blast of trumpet, and saw the mountain in smoke. They trembled with fear and stood at a distance. Then they said to Moses, You yourself speak to us, and we shall listen, but do not have God speak to us, lest we die. Moses answered the people, Do not be afraid, for God has come to test you, so that the fear of God may be with you, and that you may not sin. So the people stood at a distance while Moses went forward to the cloud where God was. The code of the covenant, idols and altars. The Lord spoke to Moses, Say this to the people of Israel. You have seen for yourselves that I have spoken to you from the heavens. You shall not make any gods of silver or gold to stand beside me. For me you are to make an altar of earth, and on it you will offer burnt offerings and covenantal sacrifices, your sheep and your cattle. In every place where I choose to have my name remembered, I will come to you and bless you. If you build an altar of stone, do not make it of cut stones, for you will defile it by using tools on it, and you will not ascend my altar by steps, lest you expose your nakedness on it. Psalm chapter 31. Prayer and praise for deliverance. In you, O Lord, I take refuge. May I never be disgraced. Deliver me in your justice. Give heed to my plea and make haste to rescue me. Be a rock of refuge for me, a stronghold fortress for my safety. My rock and my stronghold, lead me for your name's sake. Free me from the snare they have set for me. Indeed, you are my protector. Into your hands I commend my spirit. You have redeemed me, O Lord, faithful God. You hate those who worship worthless idols, but I put all my trust in the Lord. I will rejoice and be glad in your love, for you have seen my affliction. You know the agony of my soul, and instead of handing me over to the enemy, you have given to me open spaces to roam. Be merciful to me, O Lord, in my affliction. My eyes have grown dim with sorrow, my body emaciated, my soul weakened, for my days are racked with grief, and my years worn out in anguish. My strength fails because of my iniquity, which consumes me to the very bones. I have become an object of reproach for my foes, a dread to my neighbors and a horror to my friends. They hurry away when they see me in the streets. I am like the dead, unremembered. I have become like a broken pot. I hear the whispering of the crowd that frighten me from every side, and they conspire together against me as they plot to take my life. But I put my trust in you, O Lord, you are my God. My days are in your hand. Deliver me from my enemies, from those who are after my skin. Make your face shine upon your servant. Save me in your love. Let me not be dishonored, O Lord, for I have called upon you. But let the wicked lie dishonored and go to the grave in silence. Let lying lips close in silence, for they speak against the just with malice and arrogance. How great is the goodness which you have stored for those who fear you, O Lord, and bestow on those who take refuge in you in the sight of all the world. In the shelter of your presence you hide them from human plots. You keep them in your dwelling, safe from the intrigues of wagging tongues. Blessed be the Lord, for he has shown me his wonderful love when I was in a fortified city. I saw in my fright I had been cut off from your sight, but you listened to my cry for mercy when I implored your help. Love the Lord, all you his saints. The Lord preserves his faithful, but he fully requites the arrogant. Be strong and take courage, all you whose hope is in the Lord. Matthew chapter 20, verse 17 to 34. The third prediction of the Passion. When Jesus was going to Jerusalem, he took his 12 disciples aside and said to them on the way, See, we are going to Jerusalem. There the Son of Man will be given over to the chief priests and the teachers of the law, who will condemn him to death. They will hand him over to the foreigners who will make fun of him, scourge him and crucify him, but he will be raised to life on the third day. The request of James and John. Then the mother of James and John came to Jesus with her sons, and she knelt down to ask a favor. Jesus said to her, What do you want? And she answered, Here are my 2 sons. Grant that they may sit, one at your right and one at your left, when you are in your kingdom. Jesus said to the brothers, You do not know what you are asking. Are you able to drink the cup I am about to drink? They answered, We can. Jesus replied, You shall indeed drink my cup, but to sit on my right, at my right or at my left is not for me to grant. That will be for those for whom the Father has prepared it. The other 10 heard all this and were angry with the 2 brothers. Then Jesus called them to him and said, You know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and the powerful oppress them. It shall not be so among you. Whoever wants to be more important in your group must become your servant, and whoever wants to be first must make himself your slave. Be like the Son of Man, who has come not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life to redeem many. The healing of 2 blind men. As they were leaving Jericho, a large crowd followed them on the way. 2 blind men were sitting by the roadside, and when they heard that Jesus was passing by, they began to call out, Son of David, have mercy on us. The people told them to keep quiet, but they shouted even louder, Lord, Son of David, have mercy on us. Jesus stopped, called them over and asked, What do you want me to do for you? They said, Lord, open our eyes. Jesus was moved with compassion and touched their eyes. Immediately they recovered their sight and began to follow Jesus.